Today is Thursday, May 7th. And the aspect of Christian community I want to talk about today is this. In a Christian community, we take care of each other. That seems so simple and so obvious, but it is so important. It's one of the foundational aspects of a Christian community and one of the most important things that we do. In our community, we take care of each other. So, what does taking care of each other look like? I think that television and romantic comedies have tried to convince us that it's all in the grand gesture. There's that big moment when we lay it all on the line and the whole story comes together in a few seconds. And I will admit, I have heard of a few instances when the grand gesture really did change someone's life. But it has been very, very few instances. The vast majority of the time, care for one another is seen in the small moments. When I was in high school, I was involved in the youth group of the church I was going to. And one of the youth group leaders was named Mark. And Mark had a story that he liked to tell me. In the 3 years he volunteered as a youth leader, I think he told me the story at least a dozen times, maybe more than that. When Mark's daughter was 2 years old, she had to have a serious eye surgery. Mark's wife took their daughter to a specialist for the surgery, and Mark had to stay home. Now, at the time, my grandmother was alive. Her name was Minnie. I kid you not. My grandmother on my father's side was named Minnie, and my grandmother on my mother's side really was named Mickey. Anyway, Grandma Minnie found out the time of the surgery for Mark's daughter. And so, when that time came, she showed up at Mark's door with a home-baked chocolate cake. And then the two of them proceeded to sit down and eat that entire cake as they waited for the call to see if Mark's daughter was all right. By the way, the girl was fine. She's grown into a wonderful young woman. But what did my grandma do in that circumstance? She baked a cake and then she helped eat it. It doesn't seem like a grand gesture, but like I said, Mark told me that story at least a dozen times. My grandma wasn't a surgeon. She couldn't make Mark's daughter better. What she could do was pray and be with Mark and eat a cake. It wasn't a grand gesture, but my grandmother cared for Mark in a way that he will never forget. And that's what care is. It's seen in the simple things. Right now, in the midst of this pandemic, care is seen in giving a phone call to someone you know who lives alone and might be a little lonely right now. Care is seen in a kind post on Facebook. Care is seen in letting people know that we care about them. It's not the big moments, it's not the grand gestures. It's the simple ways, the daily ways we take time to show people in our Christian community that we care about them. May God be with you, and I'll see you tomorrow.